When I first started this Forever World a couple years ago, I had always planned on eventually just completely packing up and moving to a brand new area and starting over again from nothing. And I recently decided that that day would come when I finished my Italian village, probably like around day 2000 or so. But things change, and I'm pushing that day up till right now. So today, I'm going to be moving away from my starter area in my Forever World and starting over from scratch once again. But don't fear, I will definitely be back to my starter area. I will be back in the Italian village. I do eventually want to finish that project, but I'm just kind of itching to do something new. And I think this is a really good time to start season 2 of my survival world. So I put all my gear away, said bye to all the animals, especially Ghost. He's my day 1. He's been here forever. I took a spare pair of elytra just to make my travel a little bit easier, and I set off to our new location, which is an area that I'm a little bit familiar with. I thought a desert vibe would be really cool for season 2, so I decided to fly off all the way to the desert/mesa that I found a while ago, and this is where our new journey is going to begin. Alright, I don't have anything to burn my extra materials, but I think, yeah, okay, throwing it on a cactus works. I don't know why I didn't bring a flint and steel for this, but this works just as well. Alright, sweet. Okay, so welcome, everyone, to Season 2. I still have my elytra on. Welcome to Season 2 of my survival world. I also definitely need to perish really quick, because I have 10 levels. Pretty sure I set my spawn over here, and I guess this is a good way to figure this out, and I'm just gonna jump down here. Now, I should spawn in the village. Let's go. I do. Perfect. Okay, so yeah, welcome to Season 2 of my survival world, my Forever World. Now, I probably mentioned this in the intro, but, you know, when I made this world a couple years back, it was always the plan to move away eventually and just start completely over from nothing. That was my strategy of keeping this a Forever World. Rather than just starting a brand new Minecraft world whenever I got burnt out or anything like that, I would just move away in the same world. So that's exactly what we're doing here. I love my area over there, of course. Oh, there's a Wandering Trader. Small Drip Leaf is pretty cool, but I don't really think I can get any emeralds right now. I have 2 books, and that's all I got. And those are not being sold to you. They are invaluable. But yeah, I of course love my area, my starter area, all the way a couple thousand blocks that way. But I was just feeling a little bit of burnout, you know, building stuff over there, running out of ideas kind of slightly. So I kind of wanted to just take a small break from that area, get a little bit rejuvenated, maybe build like a summer home over here, like a little vacation spot or something in this desert, and then return back whenever I was satisfied with the area over here. So I think this is going to be a really cool season. I'm going to call this Season 2. It might be like kind of a mini season. We'll kind of see how things go. But I'm really excited to get started here again, you know, from nothing on day 1563. So I want to make one of my long-term goals here in Season 2 to be to transform a village entirely. But the problem is this village here, I don't really like where it is, to be honest. I don't really like the surrounding landscape. It's mainly just like the Stony Shores area here. Not a huge fan of it. So I think I might venture off a little bit just to see if I can find another village like down that way maybe. The problem is it looks like this desert kind of ends, which is sort of lame. This is a large biome world after all, and this is definitely not a large desert biome, so I don't know what Minecraft is smoking, but it's all right. We'll adapt. Let me go grab a bed before I forget. And let me start just gathering up some early game stuff. One nice thing about these Stony Shores, though, is that they have a lot of ores. And obviously, like, a ton of stone. So I don't actually have to dig underground at all to get a full set of stone tools. But I'm going to spend a little bit of time here grabbing up the coal, grabbing up the iron, grabbing up the copper that I see. And hopefully that supplies us for the first couple of days here. Now, some of you might be wondering what's going to happen with all the YouTube members. Because that was definitely something that crossed my mind when I thought about doing this. And I think I've come to a solution. What I'm going to do is just every new YouTube member I get here in Season 2, I'm just going to put them in their own little YouTube member hall that I'll build somewhere in the desert. So it'll be just a brand new build that I'll house all of the new YouTube members in. And then once I return home, whenever that day might be, I'll move them all back to the actual YouTube Council Hall. I think that's a fine solution. I didn't want to have to bring all of the YouTube members with me, because I just don't have the inventory space for that. It would have taken even a lot of shulker boxes to get that done, okay? There's a lot of you guys in there. But there were a couple YouTube members that joined before this episode, and those people I did put in the council hall. So let me cut back to before I actually traveled away, and let me introduce those new YouTube members. Before I set off, I do have a couple YouTube members that I do want to add to the membership hall. First things first, Soul Pride Gaming asked me if they could be a cherry sapling, so of course they can. And then other than them, we have 5th of Malibu, we have Mr. John Vlog, and we have Ciders Sav, or Ciders AV, however that's pronounced. So welcome to the Shramley. The first nighttime of Season 2 has been survived. That's always good to see. I think what I'm going to do is probably just head into the forest real quick. Kill a couple cows, sheep, pigs, stuff like that just to grab some food. Or actually, I'm going to sail over to those plains. I think that's probably easier. Where'd my crafting table go? Well, let's head this way and hopefully find some animals to kill. And then I'll continue the search for a better looking desert. And I guess while I'm just doing this, probably a good time to point this out, but recently, the channel hit 100,000 subscribers. It's unreal. You know, it's been a couple weeks now and I still can't believe it. But I did talk about this in my last video where I spent 100 days in a flower forest, but I'm going to talk about it again. Just because, you know, this is kind of the series that really gained me like the most subs, I would say. Hardcore Minecraft Season 2 gained me a lot as well, but man, my Forever World, that gained me so many subscribers. So this is the series I'm probably the most thankful for in my YouTube journey. And this chicken does not want to die. Dude! Die. But yeah, so I just wanted to thank everyone, every single person who clicked on any of my videos pretty much at any point, because they contributed to my subscriber growth in some way or another. Even if you didn't subscribe and you just clicked onto the video, that might have caused the video to get recommended to someone else and then they subscribed. So I feel like truly like every single person who has ever clicked on a video of mine deserves thanks. So thank you all so much. I really can't believe I made it to 100,000 subscribers. I can't wait to get a hold of that plaque. I will definitely be posting a picture on Twitter and probably one of my Discord as well. Maybe even YouTube, like a YouTube post. So I'll definitely be updating you guys when I get my YouTube plaque. But I also said a little while back that once I hit 100,000 subscribers, I would reveal the names of my cats. And I am a man of my word. I actually did already do this in my last video, but I'll do it again here. So this cat is named Annie. And this cat is named Charlotte. So now you can officially put a name to their little faces. I would argue that they probably gained me the majority of my subscribers. So, you know, huge shout out to the cats. They're real ones. My inventory here is looking really bad. It's very cluttered. So we need to find a spot to place a couple chests pretty soon. There's also more food over there that I need to go get. And over here, there's a couple more sheep. I also realized that I didn't even point this out, but you probably noticed these 2 books in my inventory. I only brought 2 things from home, and it's the Book of Everywhere and the Book of Everyone. So of course, this is the book that I have with all of the coordinates of everything. Everything that I've found in this world so far that I thought looked kind of cool. This is actually where I am right now. It is this desert / mesa. And then the Book of Everyone is the book of all of the people who have joined my world and wrote something real nice about it. So these 2 I definitely needed to take along with me, just in case I bring anyone else on the series in Season 2, and just in case I find any other cool things that I want to jot down. I think I am just about ready to continue adventuring out. The inventory is very cluttered right now, but that's alright. We should hopefully find somewhere to live pretty shortly. I'm going to head over in this direction towards this Badlands and the jungle over here. I don't think I've actually ever really gone too far in this direction. The furthest over here that I've really ever made it was just like slightly into the Badlands. So I would imagine that everything beyond like this mountain right here is probably new chunks. And I'm just really hoping that there is another desert on the other side of this Badlands. There has to be just another one somewhere. There's no way that this is the only desert in this area. I also want to take a little bit of time and grab up a couple jungle saplings. Let's try to get 4 of these at least. Oh, there we go. Finally, 4 jungle saplings. Let's continue in this direction. Looks like there is a little bit more Badlands biome over there. Wait, that looks sick. That is such a cool nether portal. I think I've never seen one with this many leaves on it. I don't think you can mine gold with gold, can you? Why can't you? I feel like that doesn't make any sense. I feel like you should be able to do that. Fire protection 1. Sick. Lodestone. I don't need that. Don't need the flint. Okay, well, there's 2 more gold blocks there, but I'm gonna leave them. And let's take a nap on these leaves. Seems like a great spot. Very comfortable. Okay, I think I see a desert. This has got to be a desert. Please don't just be a beach. No, I see trees behind it. I think this is just a beach. Are deserts like rare biomes or something? I feel like I can never find like a nice desert. In so many of my worlds, I always just end up getting sand just from like random beaches that I find because I just give up trying to find a desert. I think I haven't found one naturally in so long. I mean, I guess the one we came through here is technically a desert, but that hardly counts. Dude, there was a massacre here. No, dude. Stop doing that. I mean, who am I to say? Actually. I killed so many sheep already. Well, it's good, chicken. You look cool. I think I've never seen these chickens in the game yet. What's up, man? All right, this is definitely the open ocean that I was looking for. It is way faster to travel by boat, and it looks like this is going into a warm ocean. So please let there be something good on the other side of this. I'm gonna sail by so many shipwrecks, but I just don't have the inventory space to really loot them. I could make a chest boat, but then if I don't get where I need to get through that boat, it's going to be really annoying having to transport all those materials. But maybe I will just end up making a chest boat. I don't know. What do we got in here? Got a buried treasure map. To nowhere. This keeps happening with my treasure maps. They just don't have treasure on them. I don't really understand why. And I guess let me just offload everything in this chest boat for right now. And let me continue looting this thing. Oh, I put my door in there. Why did I do that? Got some early game iron, though. That's always nice to have. Suspicious stew. What does it do? Oh, it poisons me. Cool. Yeah, I defeated the Ender Dragon in this world. I got full netherite. What am I doing here? Let's definitely take a little peek in here, too. I would love to get my hands on, like, a mending fishing rod. That would be phenomenal. Just hopefully there's no trident drowns, because if there are, I am leaving. Unbreaking 3. That's a really good start. And I think that might be it in terms of the chests. So no mending fishing rod, but a couple Unbreaking 3 fishing rods is pretty cool. And you know what? The bottom of the ocean seems like a perfect spot to go to sleep. It is raining now. I'm very tempted to fish, but I don't really want to because I just want to find a desert. I want to make that my next priority. I think I'm just going to probably bypass all the loot that I sail by, and I just really want to try to find somewhere to live. I'm just tired of my inventory being this cluttered with random stuff. There's a desert temple over there. Honestly, there's not really a structure I want to go in less than that. So I'm just going to stick to the ocean, and hopefully this gives me what I'm looking for, though it does not look like it's really going to, because I think this is a regular ocean again. That's alright, though. I'm just going to keep searching, and one day I'll find a desert. Okay, so it looks like I found a desert. I did backtrack towards the Badlands biome again, so this honestly could just be the one that I started in. I really could not tell you, but there is a desert temple over here. Unfortunately, since I've been on land like this whole time, I did have to leave my chest boat behind. I screenshotted the coordinates if I want to go back, but I don't know if I ever will. Oh, what's good, spawner? I'm not going to mess with that. A name tag. Sure. I don't really care about anything else in there. We got an illegal dead bush, though, and a bunch of illegal sand. That's always cool. I did find some string in here, so with that, I can actually make a bundle, which is pretty nice. So I can free up a little bit more inventory space now. But there was nothing too useful in this desert temple, but at least we do have a bundle now. It looks like this does kind of continue at least a little bit. There's another desert temple right there. We can definitely at least go check that out. And there really wasn't anything useful in that desert temple either. No enchanted books in either of those, which is kind of annoying. I'm hoping somewhere in this desert, there just is a village that I can start renovating. And dude, no, it looks like it ends again. Why are these so small? These deserts are so insanely small. This is a large biomes world. You cannot possibly tell me that this is a large biome desert. This is a disgrace. I don't want to continue complaining, so let me go ahead and just kind of keep wandering through this. And I'll be back whenever I find the biome that I'm looking for. What I decided to do is just return all the way back to this village, the place we started. Because I think this area is still probably the best desert area that I came across. And more specifically, I'm thinking across here. I think this area over here is just a bit better suited to build a little village on top. So my idea is to kind of like take this village and just move it over here. That shouldn't be too bad. The most annoying part is going to be obviously transporting the villagers over to this spot, but I think this is an area that we can probably call home. We have a pretty cool backdrop over here of the Badlands biome. There's a jungle in the background too, and then over this way is just a normal forest. I'm kind of envisioning we can have maybe one day just like a huge bridge connecting the desert over here to the forest. I think that could be something down the line that would look pretty nice. There's still a little bit of these stony shores, which is just a tad annoying. But that's something that we can maybe fix in the future, or maybe just completely ignore. I'm not really sure just yet. There's definitely some work that has to be done in terms of terraforming. This entire spot looks kind of weird. There's a bunch of weird holes everywhere that we're going to have to kind of fill in. But that's something that we can kind of work on throughout Season 2 here. And there's a little cave system underneath, which is really nice. We can definitely take a nice mining trip here in the near future. I feel like that'll probably be a next episode thing. I think the only real goal that I want to have today is to build up the starter house and then build a nice tree next to the starter house. And just to pop into free cam one more time, if I do have like a huge bridge connecting over to the desert, I think I'm going to want to have a little bit of land in between the start of the bridge and the start of our village. So I'm imagining our village can probably be back here somewhere, which means I could probably build my house, I would imagine, just right back here. There's not too much terraforming I'll actually have to do today in order to build the starter house, so I like this spot. It's actually pretty nice that I am close to a little forest over here, because I am going to need some wood for my build today. So let me clear out a little section over here so we can get our trees planted. We got a little grass platform cleared out over here. So I'm going to plant down the big jungle tree that we have. And then we shouldn't need too much like oak and birch wood. I only really need it to act as some shadows on the starter house, because I think the main material I'm going to use for the walls is smooth sandstone. And then, you know, smooth sandstone into birch and then into oak look really good together. I'll show that off here in a second when I go over the entire color palette, but just to kind of give you an idea. And the good thing about needing smooth sandstone is that there's a ton over in this village. I should also say, I'm not going to take down the entire village in this video. That'll be something that we kind of just do gradually. But I'll probably start with this tower here, because that should offer a decent amount of smooth sandstone. Wait, is that a zombie camel? Hold on, that is so cool. I don't want to die. Iron Golem, help me. Can I keep this camel? Oh, I can. Dude, this is sick. Okay, that's a creeper. All right, that was almost bad. This is really cool, though. I've never seen this before. I didn't even know this was a thing. Hold on, wait. Let me see if I can go craft a saddle really quick. I think I have the materials for it. All right, sweet. I do have the materials to craft a saddle. I'm so glad you can craft these now. Look at this guy, dude. This is so cool. All right, I'm just going to build him a little temporary, like, sand hut, just so he doesn't really go anywhere. Can I get in here? Maybe if I put a block down, I can just walk up that. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, you stay there. And also, I definitely looted this. Oh, I never looted this. Wow. It's like I knew I'd be back or something. And actually, before I destroy this entire thing, I should have enough smooth sandstone to go over the color palette that I'm thinking of for the house. So let me actually quickly pop back home and just show that off real quick. Okay, so like I was saying before, the wall colors of the starter house are going to be out of this smooth sandstone block. And then I do want to use birch and oak wood as a little shadow in some of the darker spots of the build, and that's going to look something like this. I can probably bleed this in a little bit better as well, rather than just going straight from the smooth sandstone to the strip birch, by just incorporating a little bit of birch planks. I think that looks better as a transition, so that'll probably be the actual shadow that we go with. And then throughout the sandstone section, I'm definitely going to be working in just some ordinary sand, just to add some different texture variety, and then some sandstone, which I actually don't have, but there's probably some, yeah, right here. So just a little bit of sandstone as well. So that'll be pretty much the color palette for the walls. And then there's not going to be like an ordinary roof on this build, but I might have some covered sections every so often. And I'm thinking that those are going to be out of just jungle. I think spruce would also look pretty good. So if I am feeling up to it, maybe I'll venture off and go find some spruce wood and exchange that for the jungle. But I don't think the jungle looks bad. I think I'll probably stick with this color palette for the starter house. But then some of the other buildings in the area, I'll definitely incorporate some spruce for. So yeah, the color palette for this house is going to be rather simple, but I do think it's going to look really nice. And I do have a little bit of moss in one of these chests. See, right here I have 2 moss blocks. I'll probably bone meal that as well whenever I'm gathering materials, just to gather up some leaves. So I'm gonna get some azalea leaves because they look the best in desert biomes. Normal leaves are like brown and look dead normally when you bring them to a desert, but the azalea leaves stay very green and they look really nice. So I definitely want those for a nice pop of color and a pop of like lushness to the area. And then once I get this house built up, I will be back to talk about the kind of tree that we're gonna build for this area. But before I get too far ahead of myself, let me go ahead and gather up some of these materials, and then I can start the building time lapse. These guys are really here already. Just moved to this desert. Man, this looks like a battlefield over here. Look at all these arrows. But now that that's taken care of, here's a look at the new starter house, and I really like this. This is the type of vibe that we're gonna go with pretty much with every build in this area, and I think once I build up a whole bunch of houses in this similar style, this village is gonna look pretty great. I might have overused the composter leaf design, but I did want to give this like a very like lush feel to it. I wanted a lot of leaves poking through, and I just like the composter design. I didn't want to just like have random leaves on these balconies for no reason. I feel like just actually having them kind of potted would make a little bit more sense. I could have used like actual pots as well. I just couldn't be bothered to go grab some clay, I gotta be honest. But yeah, I like this build a lot. The interior is actually done as well. So when you walk in immediately, there is a little bit of a chest room, small crafting area with a little bit of furnace action as well. Got a row of barrels as well, just for some additional storage here in this first room. Then we move on to the bedroom. We have a couple different potted things, or just one potted thing, and it's this cactus. Here is just a couple pieces of moss with some flowers and whatnot, kind of like we have in this front room as well. A couple paintings, a few other spots for some storage. These chests are not openable, but I don't think it matters. I'm probably never going to use them anyway. Then we have a staircase going up to the second floor. And this room here is really just a way to get out to the balconies and also to get up to the final floor. So walking out this way, just have a little chair, a little scaffolding table. Walking out the other way, another just little scaffolding table. Just a spot to kind of look out and see the environment. And then all the way up top, it's like a little watchtower type thing where it's mostly open. We have a couple leaves as well, but I think I'll probably eventually put my enchanting setup up here. There should be enough room for it. I can put the enchanting table in the middle and then just put a couple bookshelves on the sides. So I think that's what this is going to eventually be used for. But I'm a pretty big fan of this house. I think this came along really nicely. I'm a big fan of the color palette. I think the shadowing looks really nice with the birch and the oak. And overall, I just think this is a solid build. So I'm happy to call this place home. Of course, though, I still have to build the tree for the episode. And I think we're going to have a nice palm tree right here. I'm just now realizing that I never really explained this to like any new viewers or anything like that. So if you are new to the series, if this is the first time you're watching this survival world, every single episode in this world, I build a custom tree. That's been a thing this whole time. I started it in episode 1, and I'm going to still continue it here. So that's what I meant by the tree for the episode that I referenced just a second ago. Now for this palm tree, I'm going to need a lot of jungle wood. I think that's going to be the main wood type here for this. I just feel like that'll fit the best for a palm tree vibe. So let me go harvest this entire tree here. I then think some mud bricks would look really good with this, like mud brick walls. I think that'll help shape out this tree very nicely. So I'm going to have to go grab a little bit of mud. Thankfully, though, I do have a lot of wheat, so I don't actually have to worry about harvesting that. I can just, combine that with the mud to get some packed mud right away. And I missed a piece of jungle wood up there. I'll get that later. When this tree grows in, I'll get that then. I think 45 pieces of mud should probably be enough. I'm mainly going to be using this for walls anyway, and I don't really imagine I'm going to use more than 45 mud brick walls. I'm actually going to go ahead and just grab 48 pieces of mud so I can evenly break it up into mud bricks. Let's craft this all down into mud bricks. And let's craft these into mud brick walls. I think, do I want to make them all mud brick walls? Probably not. I'll make 24 of them into mud brick walls for right now. I'll pocket the rest in case I need them. Maybe I want to use some slabs or stairs or something as well. And then in terms of the leaves, I would like to mainly use these azalea leaves. And I'm definitely going to need some more. These are my last pair of shears, though. And I don't know if this is going to give me enough leaves, but I guess let's find out. And actually, I ran out of bone meal before my shears even broke, unfortunately. So I'm just going to make do with this amount of leaves for right now. And then I'll just gather more a little bit later if I have to. But I think I have everything that I'm going to need to at least get a good start on this tree. So I'll do that first thing in the morning since it is turning nighttime. But for you guys, let me cut it to a quick building time lapse again. Here is my rendition of a palm tree in Minecraft, and I think this actually looks pretty cool. I feel like this works from pretty much every angle. I've been running around this thing for a little while now just to make sure the shape is good, and I'm happy with this. It's a pretty tall tree, but palm trees are quite tall. Fits with the size of the house, I think. Ow, didn't mean to just go hug that cactus. But yeah, I think this is a pretty good tree. I'm a big fan of this. I incorporated a little bit of moss, a little bit of tall grass, and also a little bit of glowberries, just to kind of make like the arches look a little bit more natural. So I just did it again. I literally just walked right into that cactus. That's the second time. But I like the glow berries there to like kind of bridge that gap, just to make that archway look a little bit more smooth. I think that's a nice touch. So I'm very happy with this tree. It's a good addition to the area. But that is all that I have time for in today's episode. So let's just quickly take a look at the new starter house and the new tree with shaders on. I'm very excited to continue building here in the desert in this same style. I think we're going to build up a really cool little city, little village, whatever it ends up being called. I think it's going to be nice. So I hope you guys are looking forward to season 2 of my survival world. But thank you so much for watching the first episode here. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.